An ancient text describes a golden city with gemstone palaces, swallowed whole by the sea in a single day. For centuries, historians called it a myth. Then divers found stone walls, streets, and structures on the ocean floor, exactly where the legend said the city would be. This is the story of Dwarka, the sunken city that blurs the line between mythology and archaeology. The legend comes from one of the oldest epics in human history, the Mahabharata, written over 2,000 years ago. It describes Dwarka as the glittering capital of Lord Krishna, a city with gold-plated palaces and streets wide enough for chariots. According to the epic, after Krishna's death, the entire city was swallowed by the ocean within days. For most of modern history, this was treated exactly like Atlantis, a poetic myth, not a real place. That changed in the 1980s and 90s, when marine archaeologists began surveying the waters off India's western coast. Near modern-day Dwarka in Gujarat and in the nearby Gulf of Cambay, they found something nobody expected. Submerged stone structures, straight walls, regularly spaced foundations, the unmistakable signs of a man-made settlement. Some of these formations sit nearly 40 meters below the surface, far deeper than natural coastal erosion could explain. Which raises the question, how does an entire city end up 40 meters underwater? As glaciers melted roughly 10 to 15,000 years ago, global sea levels rose dramatically by over 100 meters. Coastal settlements that once stood on dry land would have been swallowed by the sea over centuries, not days. This is where the story gets complicated. There isn't just one Dwarka site. There are several from different time periods. Onshore excavations at modern Dwarka uncovered pottery and structures dating back roughly 3,000 to 4,000 years. That's old, but not old enough to match the timeline many believers place on the Mahabharata's events. Meanwhile, the underwater structures in the Gulf of Cambay, further south, appeared to some researchers to be far older still. In 2001, sonar scans there revealed what looked like a vast grid of walls, streets, and structures spanning kilometers. Some scientists proposed this site could be over 8,000 years old, which would make it older than any known civilization on Earth. That claim caused an explosion of excitement and just as much controversy. Critics argued the walls and streets seen in the sonar images could simply be natural rock formations, sandstone eroded by ancient rivers. No clearly artificial artifacts, no pottery, no tools, no carvings were definitively recovered from the deepest Cambay site. Without solid physical proof, most mainstream archaeologists remain unconvinced that this specific site is man-made at all. But the story doesn't end there, because the coastal Dwarka site is a completely different matter. There, marine archaeologists have recovered stone anchors, pottery, and structural remains that are unquestionably man-made. These findings confirm that a real port city did exist here, and that it was indeed lost to the rising sea. So the myth wasn't entirely fiction. A city was built here, and a city was lost to the ocean. What's uncertain isn't whether Dwarka existed, it's whether this exact site is the golden city from the epic Aldite bard Sa. The Mahabharata itself was passed down orally for centuries before ever being written down. Like any oral tradition, details could shift, expand, and become more legendary with every generation that retold it. A real modest trading port may have slowly transformed into a golden, gemstone-studded capital in the retelling. This is actually common in archaeology. Troy was dismissed as myth for centuries until Heinrich Schliemann found its real ruins. Legends often exaggerate, but they rarely come from nothing. Somewhere underneath the myth is usually a kernel of truth. So today, most researchers land somewhere in the middle. Yes, there was a real coastal city here, and yes, it was lost to the sea. But whether it was the exact golden palace of Krishna described in the epic remains and may always remain unproven. Modern Dwarka today is still considered one of Hinduism's holiest cities, believed to sit atop the original site. Pilgrims visit by the millions every year, walking the same coastline where ancient stone anchors still rest beneath the waves. Marine archaeologists continue to survey the waters here, using increasingly advanced sonar and diving technology every year. We can see it, we can touch its stones. The mystery isn't if, it's exactly how much of the legend was real. And that makes Dwarka one of the rare cases where mythology and marine archaeology are still actively writing the ending together. Every new dive could rewrite what we think we know, or confirm a story that's been told for over 2,000 years. Because sometimes the line between legend and history isn't a wall, it's a tide, one that keeps shifting the more we look. So was Dwarka truly Krishna's golden city, or a real port town dressed in myth by generations of storytellers? Maybe the honest answer is a little bit of both, and maybe that's exactly what makes it worth remembering. Less than a fraction of India's coastal waters have ever been properly surveyed for submerged archaeology, which means there could be more lost cities like this one still waiting beneath the waves, completely undiscovered. If a story passed down for 2,000 years could turn out to hold real, physical truth, what other legends dismissed as pure myth might actually be memories of something real? That question is exactly why archaeologists keep diving back into the past, sometimes literally. If you want to go further back, to a temple older than farming itself, buried on purpose 10,000 years ago, there's another story waiting. Subscribe and I'll take you there next.